Hello and welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games. It's Numenera Day. Yay! We had a week off last week due to life and disease, but we're feeling a little better. We're still missing Rox this week due to life, but hopefully she'll be feeling all right. She may not be with us next week either. We'll see.
We'll get there.
It's all complicated. Trying to organise things on a Monday evening. I definitely chose the best day for this. How are you all doing? It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, good. Not bad at all.
Yeah,
Enjoying the bank holiday.
The windy bank
it's been
holiday.
really nice. Back in work tomorrow for the first time since I caught coronavirus. So should be good.
Nothing.
LJ, sorry, would you mind turning yourself up a little bit?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know you can.
How's
very
that?
Easily. That's great. Thank you. Sorry, I probably
No
should have
worries.
mentioned that before the stream because I forgot you could
That's
do that
okay.
easily.
I've just got a little dial.
Yes. Well, I guess we can't really do a recap until we run some titles. So, without any further ado, let's run. And welcome back. Last we left off a couple of weeks ago, we were in Rashid, this wonderful town perched on top of a spire of sorts, this kind of cracked mesa. These, I don't want to say shattered plains, but it's shattered plains. If you know Brandon Sanderson, these large flat areas with gaps between them. You travelled through the underside and made your way up one of these to see the bridge. And the thing the bridge is built off, the catholith, this huge, tall, standing, almost bone-like structure. Some people saying the bridge on a spine, some people saying it's an arm, but there's this kind of beak head thing. The story goes, if you cross the bridge, sometimes you'll be lucky enough to hear a whisper from the catholith. And some of you did. One of you heard a whisper just before you got onto the little wobbly bit in the middle. There wasn't much to hear on the wobbly bit, except a few screams here and there. A couple of people got knocked off, tangled in the ropes, as these big, flappy, pterodactyl-like things harried you from all sides. You managed to, drive them off. That's the word. You managed to drive them off and hurry towards the next safe section of bridge. And then you've brought yourself into town. A little wander around and through the pub. You kind of got a bit of a lay of the land. There's the hall where the clave, yes, my notes, the clave sit. You've got the Oscillorian's house, the largest house in the town, but your ever chirpy companion, Philo, who had a bit of a time on the bridge, went off and got you a rental place for a bit, a place where you can all kind of relax and put on a meal for you. And you retired there in the evening and started puzzling about these whispers you heard, these snatches of words and syllables that don't resolve until you sit there and think about it a while. Luckily, Cleege, you managed to get a whisper which was easy for Jax to understand. Very lucky.
Okay.
And actually, legitimately, I rolled for it. Yeah, I don't have dice this time, but I did have dice last time. And it was rejoice in the giant's presence unless you are the scion of a thief. Kind of confirming all those stories you heard about Jack and the Beanstalk. The original Jack up the Beanstalk, stealing knowledge from a giant. It's been corrupted over the years, but the core of the story stays true. The other one was heard by Mazia. Adjustment is key. She spent quite a while puzzling that out, putting quite a lot of effort into it, as I remember it. But this meant that she could understand that this was a key for these strange white doors in the mesa, which you'd passed and kind of poked around with, couldn't find a way through. Portals, most of them, it seemed to you. And you have a key to one now. The other person who got one was Nimchek.
Oh, yes.
Nimchek whispered this to Mazia. And the only word that Mazia caught was futile. The syllables are there, rattling around, and she could repeat them perfectly to anyone who asked, but it hasn't yet resolved itself to her. So, we are going to return to Rashid. The next morning, the day has... Where are we? There we are. The day has broken, sun has risen, and people are wandering around the mesa a bit. You can see as you look out over the kind of town square, people heading out to the edge of town and down the very thin path out to some of these doors in the mesa, which they use for farming. Things like that. Otherwise, people chatting around. There's you hear snatches of conversation about the newcomers, and you advertised that your group was sat on the other side of the bridge, so you can see a few people kind of preparing themselves for the bridge. They've got ropes and they've got clips which they can put onto the side of the bridge so they don't fall off. Very sensible.
So sensible.
But
and are they people that are mainly selling? Can you tell?
No, these are just townspeople just
Okay.
looking to get some stuff, some interesting stuff from beyond. Not many people bother to come by Rashid because it's quite hard to get to. So when people do and they set up, people are willing to make the slightly treacherous journey.
Okay.
But the day is yours. What would you like to do?
What have we got? We've got food, fruit. Did we get rid of that already?
No, you've
Didn't we?
not sold anything yet. Last night you were just kind of putting out the word and then decided to have a bit of a rest because it was a day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course, I'd forgotten because it was such a non-event for me. It was it's such an easy crossing.
So easy.
Yeah.
I recall that we wanted to go and see the company of Clave.
The Clave.
Clave?
Yes.
So we tried to go and see them,
Yeah.
but they weren't
We
in.
dropped by, but yeah, they were closed, weren't they?
Yeah. So we did want to see them, and obviously we do need to sell stuff because that is like how we actually pay for our.
And that's probably going to be the Oscillorians are going to be the first port of call for that because they apparently pay well for the wares that we've got. So we were told.
Not the sound effect I expected it to be. I did not. Tux. Sorry. That's like deep in the end.
This is like a mini drive pass.
I will use this one instead. Whoops.
And the Oscillorian's house is easy to find as well. So we can go, yeah, we can go there, sell some stuff, or at least see what their offers are. Thing is, we don't really know how much stuff is supposed to be. So
You
it's
would
going
have
to
a
haggle.
general idea,
Okay.
like, as your characters.
And then,
And I know the
that's the point.
Oscillorians want recording oddities specifically, don't they?
I think so.
Which we've
Well, no-
got a few of those, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
We've just got a box of oddities, haven't we?
Yes. Some of them have been taken apart and put together into something slightly more useful to you, but there are plenty of bits and pieces left.
Okay.
I think Clegy has hold of them at the moment.
Well, should we? I mean, I'm happy to spend half an hour that morning while everyone gets ready, just cherry picking things that I think are going to be the most useful things that I identified. Maybe with Nazeer's help, identify which ones are recording devices.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we can at least start with those things that they're going to be most interested in.
Yeah, difficulty 1 intellect roll, which actually for you, you've got understanding Numenera. It's free.
Yeah, I want to roll anyway.
Okay.
Got a 20. Got a 20.
Got 20. So yeah, you find some recording devices. You realise though that about half of them are not functional. Weirdly,
Oh, I used to have a thing.
seen these before, and they were functioning in the past, but yeah, no, some of them just aren't working now for some reason.
Some of them are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's plenty
Okay.
to sell.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll keep the ones for now. Oh, I don't know. Do we try and pull a fast one? Actually, yeah. I'll keep some of the ones that
wouldn't
aren't
they be
working.
working?
Can I try and figure out why they're not working?
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a slightly harder intellect task. By the way, in the background, the smell of some kind of frying thing, like pancakes, maybe. That kind of sweet but bready flavour. Yeah. Ooh.
And are they?
Sorry,
Is that Philo?
that's Philo making your breakfast.
In that case, I'm gonna take the oddities to the kitchen table and just I'm gonna sit there and just go through it, keep on going through them, oily hands and everything at the table.
Yeah, the house you're in is fairly basic, kind of wattle and daub style with a tiled roof, but solid, comfortable.
Letty begrudgingly wakes up at the smell of pancakes and sort of drifts very asleep down, so she can help if you'd like. Something to keep her brain occupied while she tries to wake up.
Yeah, they're these kind of oaty things with a fruit compote that Philo's cooked down and drizzled. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
Let's get that roll as you're sorting through these and trying to figure out exactly why these aren't working.
Yeah. So I'm skilled in repairing. I'm specialized in electrical machines, and I'm skilled in understanding Numenera.
Absolutely. That brings it down to a difficulty 1.
Okay. Well, one trick pony. 7.
Most of the power has been drained out of these, actually. They've kind of, they're very, very low on power. There is a little left, but then you start taking them apart, and you see that not only is there no power, there is kind of the wiring has degraded almost. Mostly the kind of bits you don't really understand, the bits that actually make it Numenera, have, I don't know, they're slightly pitted and a dull way you'd expect them to shine. It's a kind of a looks decayed, but only particular parts of it look decayed. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So something weird has happened you don't think it was normal wear and tear
Something weird has happened on the journey.
on the journey.
Okay.
That's
So,
pretty
what
strange.
Are your thoughts, Trenton?
It seems like as though some of these oddities have gone through an advanced and rapid state of decay during our journey here of what, 3 weeks?
I think we're about 3 weeks now.
About 3 weeks, about that. Over the last 3 weeks, they seem to have taken on the wear and tear that you would expect for over many years, maybe even decades. Where that would have happened, I'm not sure. But I would like to keep an eye on one of them that seems to be okay for now, and just get an idea of how fast. I'm gonna try and find one. If there's one that's very similar to one that's decayed,
Yeah.
I will take the two of them out and just put them in a separate box or just on the table, actually,
Sure.
just right on the table next to me, next to my pancakes. And I will just keep on. If we're there for another hour, I'll test them before and after.
Sure, yeah.
However, the reason for this, your guess is as good as mine, Fiji. I'm going to try and oil them though, just like give them a bit of a polish. If anything, when I have any oil, then yeah, I'll just try and give them a bit of a once over.
I mean, it's interesting that only some have gone and not all, because they've all been kept in the same conditions, as far as I'm aware.
Quite.
Same box.
Were they working before we crossed the bridge, or is this over the last few weeks? And we just haven't noticed.
This is definitely over the last few weeks that this has happened.
Clegy, would you give me an intellect roll? Because you've been playing with these.
Ooh, an intellect roll. That's just like normal, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
How
have you got
many
any skills in kind of memory recalling back? Trying to kind of play back when you've been touching these and using them?
No.
Okay.
Is
Just a straight intellect
the
then.
answer to that? Just a straight. I'll put some effort in.
Okay.
Because why not? I'll put 2 lots of effort in.
Okay. Sounds
I'll
different.
also do that. And it is a 13.
13. Yeah. Kind of casting your mind back when you were putting these together. There didn't seem to be any that were broken the first time you looked through it. Next time you looked through it, I think was after the big camp where these what are they called?
Gazers.
The gazers. Thank you. I am blanking tonight, apparently. Yes, where the gazers were bothering you, and then when you check them, there were a few gone, but not tons.
Okay.
Seemed to be mostly the ones on top. Whenever you checked.
Does it look kind of like rust?
No.
Okay. Just actual decay and falling apart.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like something was holding them together beforehand, which isn't there now.
Well, I'd say that the sooner we get rid of these, the better.
Do that.
Let's finish breakfast and go sell them, shall we? I think that might be wise.
I'm going to try and just polish up the outside of some and make them look okay. And I'm going to, just 1 or 2 of them, I'm going to hide in with the ones that are working.
Okay. So you're doing like a 2% cut, like
Yeah, that sounds
make
about
it
right.
Go a little further.
Yeah, exactly. Just make it look like there are more working ones than there actually are.
Yeah, and it's not your fault if a couple are slightly dodgy,
Oh, I
as
didn't
long as the
know.
majority are working.
Exactly. And obviously I'll put them at the bottom.
Of course. Okay. Yeah. So breakfast beautiful. It's a fruit you don't know again, but it's kind of got this tartness to it, which brought out very nicely by Philo. And Philo kind of watching you all enjoying yourselves, and not a smile because beak, but you can definitely see the satisfaction on his face as he's looking at you all.
This is amazing as ever. It's so good.
It is what I'm here to do. You save me on the bridge, and I save you in the morning.
Yes, indeed. Now, I wonder if I could get you to do something for me today while we're doing our stuff.
Of course.
Obviously, any nice food you can source, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
But any chance you could sort of keep your ear to the ground, especially about these whispers that they have heard and like how they run things here and
Of
what
course.
they do with the doors, especially the doors beyond this one.
I will do what I can. I can make friends very easily. Food is a wonderful thing to loosen lips.
Indeed. Well, great. Okay, so Philo's sorted. Shall we, Trenton, where have we got to go in? I'm sorry, I've forgotten.
Go to the Oscillorian family's house. That's the big house past over the square.
Okay, well, let's go then.
Nimchek tells you all that he'll stay and keep advertising people over the bridge rather than kind of follow you around. He looks like he wants to be away from Mazia, you'll notice.
He gave her his whisper, right?
Yeah. But onwards into the town. The town is well and truly alive by this point, people bustling around. The wind's kind of blowing, but it's not quite as bad as it was yesterday. And yeah, easy enough to find the Oscillorians' house. They have the largest house, and whereas a lot of the houses around here are kind of, like I said, wattle and daub, mud baked in the sun. Their house is tiled on the outside, these bright white ceramic tiles. You see between them, though, same construction, it's just they put a facade on it. But the front door is wide open, and as you step into kind of the central atrium, nobody's there. It's pretty
Hello.
echoes. Hello.
This is a big house.
It is. It is the biggest house.
It's a big
Anybody
house.
home?
Are there doors?
Yeah, there's doors. You hear very faintly, coming.
Is there anything valuable nearby?
How valuable do you think beautiful trees are? This kind of atrium area has been curated. Outside, kind of blasted mesa, the dust and everything, but there's beautiful flowers, there's trees, there's grass in this area. Very well contained in flower beds, but grass nonetheless.
Difficult to pocket, but definitely definitely appreciated.
One of the side door slams open, and standing there is a woman, maybe mid-20s, long kind of black hair, tied up in the messy bun, done super quickly. She's in like disarray, clothes thrown on. She's got what looks like pajama bottoms on still, and she kind of sees you all and says, "I didn't think we were expecting visitors. Hi, can you give me 15 minutes?"
Of course, my lady.
Absolutely
I'm
fair.
So sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry to intrude.
I'll come in. She kind of gestures you inside, and you can see as you step into the hallway, the what's it called? Why am I losing words today? Dining room. Yes. Hallway into the dining room, where there are people kind of wandering about these tiled floors, clearing away what was breakfast. But this woman runs past and just kind of takes something off a servant, runs upstairs, eating whatever it is as quickly as possible, and kind of yells back over her shoulder, "Help yourself!"
Don't mind if I do.
We're from the Merrynook family, just so you know.
Yep, she's gone.
Bye. See. Yeah.
These noble sorts, you've just got to sort of deal with them, you know? Take them as they come. They're often quite, flighty sometimes, but they're like eccentric is the word I'd use. When you've got money, it's eccentricity. You can afford to live a life a little bit differently to most people.
You clock a couple of smiles on the servants clearing away the food.
Can I wander back into like the atria area? And I'm intrigued by the fact that there are trees and flowers and grass within a house in this quite desolate and difficult environment. So can I have a look around to see if there's anything that might be influencing that environment? Maybe some sort of artifact or object of some sort?
Yeah, absolutely. No real need. It's just a little bit of time. No real need to roll. It's just a little bit of time until you find a thing in the corner, a water pump, which elsewhere in the town have been in public areas. This one seems to have its own. And as you look at it a bit closer, it doesn't look like it's actually sunk into anything. It looks like it's set on something that's buried into the ground. And you kind of kick some dust away and you can see familiar, well, maybe not familiar, but definitely identify it as Numenera.
I'm going to do over Trenton. Trenton.
I will casually walk over, looking around at the house, kind of, poking at things I haven't seen before. I ring the bell a couple of times on the way out. I'm like, ooh, if there's a bell.
Oh yeah, there's plenty. They're all on strings, and you can hear them
I do
tinkling
them
in
all.
little bits of the house.
Do them all. And yeah, I want one of those pigeon.
Look
What?
at this. Look down there. What's that?
A water pump. I don't quite
No,
think...
below the
You
water
know what the water pump looks like.
No, below the water pump. Look. And I sort of indicate what's in the ground.
Can you hold this box, please? I hand over the box of oddities. Oh no, do you have them? Anyway,
Somebody
if
has
I have them, I give them. Otherwise, yeah, I'll get down and have a look. What have we got? Actually, I'm just going to straight up scan it rather than getting my hands dirty. I'm just going to scan this one and see if I can figure out, how deep it goes, what it's made of. It won't tell me what it does, but yeah.
It really doesn't go deep at all. It's made of some kind of synth, and you can tell that there is a void in the middle, kind of an empty space. But at the top, there's a lot of kind of machinery and circuitry and stuff. And it looks like that space is about half filled with water at the moment.
Okay. Either this is just a well, or because it's just made from synth, so it's not particularly exotic.
It's
It could-
entirely enclosed except for the pump on the top.
Oh, okay. Have I heard of anything that
I mean, yeah, you've heard
generates
about-
water and pulls water from another dimension or something like that?
Yeah, plenty of stuff. It's not uncommon, various settlements around, especially with your study.
I seem to remember attending a lecture by Professor Dr. Robletta Bobolina, and she mentioned something like this. I think there's called a a Rabioni 92 device, and it pulls water from somewhere else, another place in the world, another, possibly another dimension. They're all different. And so you have an endless supply of water. Very handy in a place like this. This must have cost much.
Interesting.
Letty, where are you?
I have a serviette tucked in, and I'm sitting very prim and proper at this table in my sundress. I'm eyeing up the cutlery to see if it's good silver, but I'm acting the perfect guest and wondering what the fuck the others have gone.
Yeah, so a bunch of confused servants kind of congregate outside the door, looking up at the bells and then unsetting them so they can stop ringing. Looking around, kind of spot you and give you a little nod.
Sorry, can't help myself.
Look out at you in the courtyard and confused kind of wander back to their duties.
Cleety, the breakfast looked really good. If you haven't eaten enough already, I suggest we go and tuck in. But yes, this is pretty special, this little device.
Sit down, it's all about making an impression. Come back here.
Letty, I'm glad you're here. You seem to know nobility very well.
It's
You must
an
have
act.
spent a lot of time around them.
Not a whole... Listen, less with that.
I mean, it feels wrong to be eating so soon after Philo's beautiful breakfast, but I suppose the second breakfast wouldn't be out of order. So I'll partake a little bit, and Cleety will also take the appropriate etiquette stance for eating. I do have a question though, Letty. That blade that I've seen you carry. Where did you get that from?
I was hoping you hadn't seen that. If you've been around Ishlav or Vathica for, well, probably 10 years ago, you might have heard of something like that, but you might need it might be worth making a roll. See if you recognize it, because it might be recognizable to you.
Scale of 1 to 10 difficulty. How difficult is it?
How it depends. Well, I was gonna say it depends how long Cleegy's been in the area, but
Cleegy's not been in Vathica hugely long. He'd been there about, what did I say, about 6 months to a year before we started our adventure.
I think maybe a difficulty 4.
12 or more?
And that would just be intellect, would it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll just do a roll. Because he'll either know or he won't. Ooh, 19.
So yeah.
Yeah. You've heard of Khan Colin, which is a group of raiders and thieves and heist people who used to operate out of Ishlav 10 years or so ago, but they haven't been active lately. They all used to have red-handled knives as sort of like the badge of membership, and Khan Colin meaning knife handle in a local dialect.
I mean, something, it rings a bell. It looks, I don't know, just something about it seemed, but I mean, something to do with some, I don't know, criminal group, I think.
The servant's door slams open, and the woman who was there greeting you before now stands in full adventuring gear, like proper leathers, very practical, cape billowing, looking very well put together. She looks at you all. You're all strangers. I don't know who any of you are, which means you're from elsewhere. You've come over the bridge, which means you're adventurers. Right?
She's good. She's very good.
Very well put together, my lady.
Right. Where are we going?
Kleegi, having seen her come back in while I was talking, has like literally got up, brushed himself off, got into like proper diplomatic pose. My lady, it is a pleasure. May I introduce us? My name is Kleegi. This is Letty, and this is Trenton. We are indeed from a different place within the world, and it is a pleasure to meet you. May I know what to call you, my lady?
Yeah. I'm Connie. Hi.
Connie. Yeah. Hi. Pleasure to meet you. How did you come to the fact that we're adventurers?
You're not from around here? And I heard somebody came over the bridge last night, so I assumed it was you.
Well, we are part of the Merinoak Trading Company.
Right, you see
and
it deflates
we
slightly
have come
at this.
to bring our wares to you.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Takes the cape off and puts it over the back of a chair and sits down. What do you want to sell?
Heard you're in the market for whisper catchers, recording devices of various kinds.
Yeah.
Some of them may or may not be preloaded. We can't confirm that because we haven't really examined them too well.
Sorry, are you selling me whispers or are you selling me devices?
They're devices. They are devices.
They're definitely devices for catching whispers, Trenton.
Right, so you're not selling me any whispers.
I'm just going to show up.
No, as far as I'm aware. Are we? I didn't think we were.
I'm sorry, my lady. How would you sell a whisper? Surely a whisper is a whisper. You can't sell it.
Surely you can record them.
You sell them, and like once they're out your head, they're out your head. You don't. They're not like proper information. They're like things. Did you not get any when you came over?
I didn't. I didn't want one anyway. Some people did.
Yeah, Mazia's keeping very quiet in the corner.
It seems that. I mean, do you often trade in whispers, or is that just?
Well, buy the ones that the clave don't get first. We pay better, but people don't seem to like us.
We heard the clave was quite protective over that sort of thing.
Yeah, they're not quite doomsday cult, but they're, they've got some reverence for the Catholic for some reason. Not quite as bad as the Catholics, but yeah.
The Catholic being that big lad over the ravine.
The big lad with the bird skull looking thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, how much are you selling the recording devices for?
Well, we've brought these from far and wide specifically to come here to your town. As far as I'm aware, with the Merinoak Trading Company, so I think they're worth a fair amount to you and yours, especially with the trade and the exclusivity that comes with them. And she names a slightly higher than reasonable price.
Absolutely. So you've got about 24 or so in the box, and probably a reasonable price for an Odyssey would be like a shin each. So, like 35, 40 would be slightly higher than reasonable.
I think she'd go 45.
45.
They can obviously afford it, and probably don't know what things cost.
She looks at you. Give me a roll. Difficulty 3. Try and get it past her.
Cool. I've got persuasion, bluffing, misdirection, and deception.
Yep. Bring it down to diff 1.
Okay. That's a 10.
Yeah, she kind of looks at you. It's a bit steep, but that's not my money. Hang on, wait. And she gets up and wanders out, leaving her cloak behind. The table has been well and truly cleared by this point.
Can I look at the cloak? What is it made of? What does it look like? Is it something special?
It looks like silk, kind of. Not very practical for an adventuring cloak. Definitely decorative. You can see a few kind of pockets inside with, you know, like random bits of string and, you know, the stuff like, I'm going to be an adventurer, I will need everything. Put it in a pocket.
Cloaks with pockets.
Cloaks
I
with
like it.
She returns with a small kind of wooden chest, thumps on the table, and counts out 40. 40 shins. Take it or leave it.
Sure thing. I was about to call myself Mazia then. Letty shakes her hand and takes the cash, I guess.
Letty may be going to take the shins, but steps and pick them up. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for trading with the Merrion Oak Trading Company.
Yeah. We've done the business. Tell me a story. Where have you been? Where are you going? What are you doing?
Well, that's many questions. I mean,
kind of
we've come most recently from the Clock of Calla. Yes, indeed, it was most impressive sight. The sheer stone cliffs, the very, very high, very sheer stone cliffs, the weird and wonderful fruits and trees and plants, and I mean, truly eye-opening place to have come from, really.
Those cliffs are smooth too, really hard to climb down.
So smooth. If you were to try and climb them. Sorry?
You were on top of them.
We were never on top of them, as such, I would say. But yes, they are very tall indeed, and very steep, and very smooth indeed. Letty is correct. But yes, and since then we've sort of been making our way. We're sort of heading back towards the Steadfast, in fact.
Right. So, wow, you're going a very. How did you get? Where are you from?
Well, that's a question indeed. I mean, I originally from Iron, the Council of Iron. I don't know if you've heard of it. No, we're just a town in one of the Steadfast. Like, obviously, just a slightly more important town one might otherwise expect, but we're still just a town in the Steadfast.
I don't really know anything about the Steadfast. Sorry, I don't only really know here.
Wow, and yet you're an adventurer.
Yeah, an adventurer doesn't need to know everything.
No, indeed, but I bet you know plenty about around here.
Yeah, I do. I know where a lot of those doors go.
Wow.
You've been through the doors.
Yeah, we own a lot of them.
That's amazing. And who decides who owns them as such?
Whoever can open them. I mean, can't open a door. What's the point of owning the door?
Indeed, but like, who protects the door once it's open?
People we pay.
Oh, so it's a proper business then.
Yeah. What is this?
What?
Difficult.
What's on the other side of those doors? We were just intrigued by it. We spent a long time trying to work out how to get into those things, and
well, if you haven't got the key, did nobody? Some of the whispers open doors. It's easy. I don't know. There's some good storage spaces. Some are monsters, some are,
Have you seen any monsters behind the doors?
No, they're usually dealt with by the time I get to go through.
What's the most amazing thing you've seen behind the door?
There's one where they've got a farm which goes like further than you can see. Like you can't even see the end of it, but like it's long and thin, so it feels like weirdly claustrophobic, but also like super long. It's no, that's a very cool one.
A farm? Like in this environment?
Well, it's behind the door. It's not in this environment. It's in the door's environment. We don't know where the doors are. Well, where they go, but we know what's behind them,
Wow.
Very exciting.
It's a lot of
Doors
pigs.
don't just go into the cliffs. They go somewhere else.
Yeah, they're kind of portal-y things, I guess. It's we did some measurements at one point, and like that really long one, there's no way it can actually fit where that door is. So must be somewhere else.
Wow.
Honestly,
You take things out of the door that you find. So
Yeah.
could you farm food in there?
it'd be kind
and
of
then
useless
take
if
it
we
out?
didn't. Yeah, we wouldn't have.
Is that where you got the water device from in your garden?
No, we bought that.
Mhm.
Some people came through.
What I'm saying is I'm shoveling mainly the meats. If there's any cooked meats, I'm mainly having that.
Yeah, there's a butler who keeps trying to like clean away your plate.
I'm like guarding the plate. Keep on as he reaches towards something to take it away. I'll just take more off.
You can see that when you're asking her about her adventures, she's kind of going quiet and a little shut down. But when you start talking about yourselves, she perks up again. Definitely more aspirational than not.
I mean, I must say, you are in a blessed position to adventure with all these many doors around and all the excitement. But
The adventure's kind of done already.
oh, really? What's
Yeah.
that? Who does that?
Well, people go in the doors and sort it out, and then I get to go in later.
Oh, well.
Is this a sort of a family affair then?
Yeah. My dad's in charge of it all, and one day I'll be in charge of it all.
Right.
But yeah.
He's not
You
letting you get
just-
that first-hand experience that you're trying to get into right there.
I don't really need to if I'm going to just run it. I can pay other people to. But, yeah.
You obviously want to.
Well, yeah. Of course I do.
Can you disguise yourself as one of the guards first? And be very exciting.
It would be, but... I don't want to get
A bit
caught.
of battle damage on that coat.
What would
I've
happen
ripped my
if you
coat,
got-
see? Be like that.
What would happen to you if you got caught?
Get punished, I suppose.
What, for being curious?
Breaking the rules.
What are the rules?
Whose rules?
Dad's.
How about, you seem like an enterprising young lady. How about if we ever sort of cross the threshold on one of these doors, we'll offer to take you with us if you're interested.
Her eyes kind of...
Only we knew a whisper that would open a door that hasn't been opened yet.
Mazir, who wasn't paying attention, is now.
Connie, do you know any doors that haven't been opened yet that you have whispers to?
I mean, there's loads of doors,
Pick
but
one.
like if we've got a whisper to it, it's been done.
Okay.
That's the point. Or, yeah, somebody else has a whisper. The Clave have a few, and Catholics are trying to hoard as many as they can. But
So what do the Clave do with the whispers?
keep them. Don't actually know if they do anything with them. We just
So they just want to know the whisper, they don't use the whisper.
yeah. I don't get it, honestly.
And what about the Cath people?
The Catholics, they say that anyone who hears a whisper is stealing from the Catholic. So they want to give the whispers back to the Catholics, so they try and get them off people and give it back, but they can't give it back. They like just say it out loud, and somebody catches it. And I don't understand all the nonsense they talk, but apparently one day the catalyst is going to save us all, and it needs all its whispers to do that. Nonsense.
Intriguing.
You know where they might happen to do that ritual? Because it seems like a place worth hanging around for a little bit.
I mean, they just do it to the catholith. They try and do it at night so nobody's around, so no one can hear it, but normally they just end up passing it like between themselves. I'd be careful if you're going to hide and listen to them. They probably won't. No, I don't know what they do. They've been, the locals don't do it, and then people who do it are, well, they're gone in the morning, like, presumably, like, out, but maybe, I don't know. Yeah, they're not.
That seems a mite scarier than I thought previously,
pleasant.
but I've never let a bit of risk get in the way of a bit of
Adventure.
gain. Yeah, adventure, yeah.
Well, let's not put ourselves in undue danger. I mean, we do have to actually cross back over at some point to join the rest of the company. So have to cross back over.
Oh, you could go down the other side, try and meet them, and take you a couple of days out of the way, but
that is quite an attractive option.
you see she is slightly more disappointed when you say that.
You've crossed the bridge, though, haven't you, Connie?
No.
Oh,
It's very, very high up.
And wobbly.
Yeah, it looks very exciting.
Wobbly.
We had to fight a brace of pterodactyl-looking things on the way over here.
Yeah, the Volfans.
Yes.
Volfans.
Volfan, yeah.
Cleachy here clean fell off the bridge, is dangling on a rope.
How do you get out of it?
Skip.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't just me dangling. It was also Philo, our friend.
Two of you dangling off the side of the bridge, and you managed to get both of you back up and off the other side.
Yes, I mean, I cannot tell you how much help the others were, especially when we were being attacked at the same time by those bird things. But yes, it took a bit of teamwork.
Wow.
Yes, yes, possibly our friend should not have joined us on such a treacherous crossing, and I very much...
You did all that and you didn't get any whispers. How many of you crossed?
Well,
A few of us.
You didn't get any whispers at all. I don't believe you.
Not as far as I'm aware. Maybe someone's keeping it under their hat, but...
BG looks up. I'm not wearing a hat.
I am wearing a hat.
And, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know what these things are. It's weird. It's a very weird place, and we have to cross the bridge again.
Anyway, Connie,
Well, yeah.
it's been lovely. Thank you very much for trading. If you do hear any whispers in the next while that we're here and you want to get an adventure, we're happy to go with you. Right, Close?
More than happy for a ride along with a lady who looks as capable as yourself.
Capable.
Sits up a little straighter at that.
No, honestly, a true pleasure to meet you, my lady. And is there a way we can contact you if we have need?
I mean, tell anyone in town and they'll come here. I don't know. Tell them I'll give them a shin.
Okay,
Sure
that
thing.
Great.
Corny or Solorian, is it?
Yeah, that's me.
It's a great name. Well, we will take our leave. Thank you so much for your time, and I honestly do hope to meet you again soon.
Yeah, maybe find something and adventure. And you can, that'll be cool.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. Cleese will sort of do his stooping exit, bowing slightly. Come, you two. Let's. We should get on. We have other things we need to do.
As Letty leaves, she sort of like leaves the ground for a little bit and drifts and just sort of winks at Connie as she sort of floats out the door. Just to make a good impression. It's always worth having a rich, noble person in town in your good graces.
Yeah, I think you ended positive. You offered to take her on an adventure, and sold her a load of useful stuff. Although she probably wasn't too keen on that. But back out into town, the butlers and servants kind of all nod as you walk past.
Ring, ring, ring. Meat sandwich. Ring, ring, ring.
Absolutely.
Trenton, what are your shoes sounding like today, please?
A very good question. I think it was. Mario coins for the next 69 minutes.
Nice.
I'm sure that goes well with the bell ring.
That's phenomenal.
Brilliant.
Right, so back out into town, the bustle of people moving about. Where next?
Well, I am thinking we should go and see the Clave, although I'm not sure what we'll gain, but I do feel like we need to hear their side of the story.
And plus, if they've got all those whispers and they're not using them, then it might be worth taking sort of a look in the back rooms, so to speak.
I mean, I'm not sure where you'd store a whisper if it's not in your head.
And a recording device. I was trying to tell you all, but no one believes me.
Yes, but how can you put it into a
I
record?
don't
That's
know.
like,
I don't know how they work
not your
anyway.
fault, is it? Anyway. Oh, why am I saying that? Maybe. Anyway, no, yes, let's go to the Clave.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll go back to where the big hall thing.
Yep. And where last night it was empty, tonight there's a few people kind of milling about, having a chat in the corner, or just taking it in, sitting and looking and meditating somewhat. At the front, where the kind of raised dais is, you've got the desk and the lectern that you had before, but this time behind the desk is a person. She's kind of dark complexion, dark hair with grey kind of at the temples. She's got a hot drink sat by this huge ledger, and she's chatting currently with someone across from her. You see the conversation kind of wrap up. A shin is moved over the table with a finger on it. Something's whispered in the ear. The shin is released. She reaches under the table, and there's a cage with this kind of six-limbed monkey creature about this tall, sitting in it, climbing on the bars. She kind of leans over to it, whispers, puts it underneath. Ding! Next.
It's a wisp storage monkey.
How big was the monkey? Oh, it's a tiny monkey.
Tiny monkey.
Cleege will step forward.
Do you have any whispers
Good
to sell?
morning. No, I don't. Should I?
No, it's usually why people come in.
Oh, no, well, we're completely new to the area. and we were told that you might be able to help us with like some information regarding the clave and the whispers and the such like.
I can tell you bits.
Oh, yes, that would be lovely. Anything you can tell us. I mean, how did the clave come to be?
The clave came to be when the whispers were heard and somebody needed to keep track of them. They're just useful bits of information that can be shared and sometimes sold if we need to, but it is useful to have a central repository of all this information. We keep them in the ambids usually, and then the ledgers tell us which ambids they're kept in.
I'm sorry, an ambid?
Lifts the cage up. This is an ambid. It can recall and return certain phrases, words. Usually, they're very good mimics, and the whispers act in their heads. It seems as the way they do ours. Once they leave an ambid, they return to us, and once it leaves us, it goes to the ambid.
And
Have you got any to sell?
No,
you already said
no. The whisper holds like. So the power of the whisper stays even through transfer.
When you tell a whisper to somebody else, it leaves your head and enters theirs. You cannot recall it at all.
Fascinating. And how many of these ambids does the clave have?
That I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh. How many years have you been doing this?
Much longer. Honestly, our records at the start aren't very good. We're still cataloguing some of the early whispers. We don't know when it started.
Wow, that must be quite a process. Must be fascinating to do.
Honestly,
so
it's a bit dull. We don't actually get to figure out what they are until later, so I sit here and I listen and I repeat and I pay.
You're telling me you don't get the chance to follow up on any of those yourself?
That's not my job.
Is that something you work up towards, or are you
I'll get
not
there.
expecting? How long is that going to take?
Well, one of them dies.
Them?
You know, like people in charge. There's only so much space down there, apparently, or something, or like the inner circle. I don't get it. Basically, somebody dies at the top. Everyone goes up one. I'm not sure.
When was the last time one of them died?
Just before I started training, actually, because I took their place.
Was that
And how long have you
months
been here?
ago, years ago?
It was about 30 years ago.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa.
Do these seniors have a particularly long lifespan?
No, they're just old.
How old's the oldest one?
I think she's 93 now.
That's quite the... Doesn't she want to retire, or...?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
You ever see her?
I mean, I bring them tea and stuff. I see them.
Wild.
So literally all they do is catalogue the whispers and that's it.
Well, I guess they're the ones who get to try and figure out what they are and if they're useful.
And do they undergo training to figure out what they were? Is there like some sort of discipline or meditation?
Yeah, I mean they're very good at it. They can figure it out quickly. Yeah, no, I don't know what the training is like because I haven't done the training.
And when you have these whispers in your mind, does nothing ever come to you about it?
I mean, some feel like I could probably work it out, but it's not my job.
And do these
Never
whispers...
been tempted?
I mean,
Never been tempted just to use one and see what happens? 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, I could spend some time figuring it out, but then what would I do?
I mean, you'd get to maybe have a look in one of those doors or impress somebody up at the ladder.
Well,
or...
I'd have to leave and like desert my post for a bit. It's like I don't have
After
the
30
luxury
years,
of
I
wandering
think
around.
you deserve a holiday. I know a very capable adventurer who I could pair you up with, who would be more than willing to take you.
Nope.
on
If
adventure.
I leave my post unattended, then I get budged down the list.
Don't want to undo 30 years of hard work. I understand.
Not worth it.
To your knowledge, do the whispers all open doors, or are they
No.
sometimes informational, or
Some
like
are information, some are doors, some are really private to people. It's got some kind of insight, as far as we can tell, into the way of the world. We don't know how or why, but yeah.
When you say they're personal to people, it means that it sort of picks that person as they cross the bridge
Sometimes.
for the whisper.
Sometimes.
And do you catalogue when you buy that whisper? Do you then catalogue the nature of the person who took the whisper?
I write down who sold it, what time, when they got it, bits and like mostly just stuff about it. I just fill in the ledger.
How do you tell when an ambit is full?
When you don't have it in here, it took it. When you do still have it in here,
Oh, it just doesn't take the whisper when
Yeah.
it's full. Okay, and then you just get a new one.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
How many
Roughly
whispers can an ambit have?
It's usually 4 or 5.
Oh. That's not as many as I thought. That's some limited brain capacity there.
I mean, it is tiny. Anyway, so is
Maybe
there
they
somebody
need bigger
responsible
ambits.
for breeding the ambits?
Not my department.
Oh,
I assume somebody is. I just get given them when I need them.
sounds very efficient.
Yep, it's been refined over years.
And you say that most of the... Did you say what they were called, the elders?
No, I never gave you
No.
the names.
Okay. Did you say the elders are downstairs? There's a whole complex down there?
Yeah, there's a back and then stairs down.
Is there any way of getting a tour of the place?
No.
And I do have one more question. So, do you ever get problems with the Catholic sort of devotees?
The Catholics, they know
Yes.
not to try.
How do they know?
Experience.
Well, that's ominous.
There's a story.
Not much. of
I'd
a
like to
story.
hear that story.
It's a very short one.
Right. Well, I look at Letty and Trenton. I think we probably got what we came for at the moment.
Aye,
Okay.
I'm
How
content.
big was the ledger that this person was writing in? Is it like a big kind of...
Yeah, it's pretty chunky, and she's maybe 2/3 of the way through it.
Okay.
Oh, I do have one question. If we were to want to sell a whisper, like, what's the pricing scheme?
Generally, I've got a system of syllables, and particular syllables are worth more. Usually you're looking at 1 or 2 shins a whisper. If it turns out to be more important, we will try and find you and pay you the difference.
Oh, that's that's very noble. Hmm. So
How
certain
hard do you
syllables are
try?
more useful.
Well, if you stick around, it's easy to find you. If you leave, it's more difficult. We're not going to spend more than what we owe you paying someone to get it to you. It's your responsibility to stick around.
And how quickly would we find out whether it was valuable or not?
Depends on how busy we've been, but 3 to 4 months or so.
Right. It's quite a long time then. Anyway, well, that's it for me. I thank you so much for your help and yes. Doing a
And
great
good
job.
luck getting up the chain.
Yes.
With people skills like those, I'm sure you'll be up there in no time.
Ding! Next.
She's good. She's really good. Job satisfaction.
30 years of front desk work.
Oh,
Okay. So we're obviously going to break into the basement.
You can try.
Jensen, I don't think Jensen would think that. That's just what I want to do.
Letty wants one of those monkeys.
Oh, I totally want a monkey. I totally want an ambit. I
Well-
knew they could be stored. I knew there was a way. It'd be ridiculous if you couldn't store them. I didn't guess in a six-limbed monkey, but it's interesting that they can be stored. There
Indeed.
must
and
be a
you-
way of creating a device that does the same job. Must be a way.
Well, quite possibly, but we'd need an inordinate amount of devices and ciphers and oddities to create it. I don't think that's something we're just going to
Oh,
be able
no.
to come up with.
No.
Not particularly cost efficient.
Not for a shin or two per whisper, no.
Not for a shin per whisper. I was expecting more than that. I suppose you're not going to be... Clearly, did you say you had one? I
Sorry?
suspect it's not... Did you say you had one?
Had what?
Oh,
A
never
whisper.
mind. My mistake.
It's interesting that the syllables are important. Why would the syllables and certain syllables? I wonder what they look for.
I mean, why is there a giant skeleton on the acting as the bridge that's psychically projecting whispers? It makes about as much sense to me as...
Yeah,
I
that's a
don't know.
very good question.
There are several assumptions you're making there.
We like assumptions.
GMs like
Um,
assumptions.
Oh no.
Are we? How long have we been out now? Is it?
An hour or two. It's still kind of just before lunchtime kind of time. Tells you how late I get up.
I think. See, I think Clegy would quite like to go back to the lodgings, and hopefully Philo might be back with some information. Maybe not, but he'd also like to have a little ponder time. I think
Okay.
that's Clegy. I don't know what the others want to do. Have we got any other stuff to sell?
Yeah, we do. We've got fruit and food and fruit. I think that was one thing. Museum might be a good person to sell that.
Yeah, I can sell it. Did any of you want this whisper?
Do I?
I reckon you should keep hold of that. And we're not going to get anything for it in the time that we're here. And I like a door as much as you, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Okay.
Especially if you can figure out where it leads.
Yeah.
So what?
You're right there, Cleachy. I can see some gears turning in your head.
If she does really want to get rid of it, then maybe Connie would be a good person to give it to. Especially if Connie has resources that can figure out.
I will remind you, Matilda did kind of tell you go and sell some whispers.
Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not to the clave, surely, you know.
To anyone who'll buy them. She wants to make.
I would
money.
have more fun looking in. I think it'd be more fun and more cost efficient.
Does she get money
to
off
go and
our
look at one of those
whispers?
doors
Oh,
ourselves.
I've got a principle here. Does she get money off our whispers?
You've got an agreement. You're working for her.
Get whispers, sell whispers.
That 40 shins is going to be shared.
I know that. I know the selling stuff. I'm just like the selling of the whispers is I'm not happy about. Anyway.
You sign the
He
contract.
doesn't know if you have them, though, right?
She has no way to tell.
Yes.
And also, if we get the stuff out of a door and then we split it with her, she can't complain too hard.
Cleege might just take Mazir to one side, I think. And assuming the other two aren't, I'm assuming you two are not interested in the whispers as such.
Hopefully. I'm interested in how they work, but I don't want one. I don't think so.
I would happily steal a bunch and then sell them on. And this one seems like an interesting proposition.
I'm going to take Mazir to one side then and ask her to tell me what she knows. Because then I'll be possessing 2 whispers plus a bit more, yeah?
Mm.
And that might give Cleege some more time to think.
Would you take, please, 2 experience points?
Gladly.
Give 1 to somebody else.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to give 1 to Trenton, I think, please.
A
Because
heart experience.
he's been super useful today,
As always.
as always, but
Yes, Mazia asks you, do you want both the whispers or just the key one?
both,
Okay.
please.
She will whisper them both to you. You get the word adjustment and some syllables. You don't get the full understanding of the key. You have to work that out yourself.
Right.
Mazia can help you, but you still have to do the work. And the other
Yeah.
one, you catch the word futile and some syllables. And then you look back to... What was that? What was the first one she gave you? No, it's gone. You can't remember it. You can't recall it at all. You've got the second one fine. You can repeat that perfectly. The first one's gone.
The first one I got, or the first one she gave me?
The first one she gave you. Can't remember it.
Shit.
Give me an intellect roll. Perception kind of thing.
Ooh. My flex skill today is perception.
Isn't that convenient?
That really is convenient. No, seriously, I decided
Yeah,
beforehand.
no, I don't, I don't not believe you.
Is it determined, am I working towards a difficulty or is it how high I roll?
You're working toward difficulty, but it's currently with that skill, difficulty 1.
Oh, is it? Oh, I reckon I'll just roll then. Come on, you. 9.
You see, running away, a kid looking back at you, slightly worried, pelting it in the direction of the clave. And it has just hit past, so now is a very good time for a break.
Still your whisper.
Stole your whisper. We'll be back in about 10 minutes to see how you deal with this stolen whisper. We'll see you then. and welcome back. We were in the process of swapping a couple of whispers around. Mazia was giving them to Kleegi until Kleegi couldn't remember one of them. Looks around, there's a kid. Stolen your whisper. What are you doing?
Letty, stop that child!
What? All right. Letty reaches out a hand and throws up a barrier of gravitational energy.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's sort of instinctive. I could spend three plus intellect to create an opaque stationary barrier of solid energy within immediate range, which I've taken between last session and today.
Yeah, absolutely. Few steps forward, throw your hand out, barrier goes up, and child just thumps into it on their arse. You've got a moment while this child is disoriented for a second.
Grab him, grab him, Letty, grab them, don't let them go. Don't let them do anything.
Jesus Christ. All right. Letty swoops in and tries to grab this child.
Okay, give me a speed check.
Get your dagger
Oh,
out.
jeez.
Threaten the child.
Oh, boy. I'm going to put some effort into this. I have an edge of 2 now because... Okay, yeah. Tier 3 is great, by the way, guys.
I'm getting there.
Love to be at tier 3. Pool speed. I'm going to put in level of effort. Yeah, I'm going to put in 1 level of effort. So that's going to be 1 speed. That's a 16.
16, yeah, easy enough. Run up, grab this child. There's a bit of a commotion starting now in the kind of street that you're in. There's people kind of looking around. They saw the barrier go up, but now they're seeing you just grab a random child. They're trying to come towards you. There's a big burly guy, kind of stripped to the waist, presumably been doing some manual labour somewhere in the town, but just wandering up to you. Hey, what are you doing with that kid?
My comrade seems to think that this child has stolen something? Is that right? What's happening? Why have I picked up this child?
Kleegi's gonna like bustle forward and go, "Oh, good show, Letty. Well done. That's exactly right, you." And then see the crowd and go, "Ah, yes. Just a small matter that I need to deal with this. Does this child belong to anyone here?"
Looks around at the kids trying to squirm out. Nobody claims this child. No, but you're saying the kid stole something from you?
Yes, indeed.
We'll let the kid go once it's returned what it's stolen.
Oh, what's he stolen from you?
That I'm afraid I cannot relay. But tell me, where do we go?
You can't tell us what the kid's stolen, and yet you're just grabbing the kid. Gonna put a hand on the shoulder of the kid now.
If you could actually just point me into the direction of whoever keeps law and order in this town, that would be most useful.
We do.
Who's the
The
we?
town. And outsiders.
Weren't there officers on the bridge?
Yes.
Go and get one of those then.
You go get one of them.
I
Child.
I'm happy to go and get an officer of the law.
Thank you, Trenton. That would be
I will be back shortly. Please keep the child here so that the paperwork can be filled in properly. And I will dash off towards the bridge.
This large fella has like quite a grip on this child's shoulder now, and yeah, the child is still squirming around trying to escape it, but Yeah, there's a bit of a tense stare down as Trenton heads off.
I'm just going to just sort of calmly smile at the burly man and just go, just maybe ease up a little on the pressure. We don't want to hurt the child. We just want to reclaim what is ours.
I'm not the one who ran after a child, did some magic.
I mean,
I just stopped a child from running away with our stuff. I didn't hurt the child. Child's fine.
You haven't told us
I've been a
kid's stolen yet.
because
none of your
to be
goddamn
honest-
business, stranger.
It is our goddamn business. It's our town. You coming here accusing us of stealing?
I think you find I've not accused you of stealing.
Kid's
I
one
have
of us.
accused, and yet you do not know who he belongs to.
Do you know everyone in your hometown? Do you know every child you meet? No. You'd protect the kids in your town, wouldn't you? Or would you not?
No, I would. You are right. I'm indeed right. I'm so sorry. The emotion of the moment caught up with me. I was not clear thinking. Maybe I acted hastily. However, this child has stolen from me. And although I cannot reveal what the child has stolen, I can assure you I have no intention of hurting the child or trying to provoke your town. Indeed, we are strangers here and we appreciate the hospitality that your town has thus far provided.
Give me a roll.
Oh, please.
This isn't pleasant,
Okay.
by the way.
I was going to ask. All right. I'm still
Can I
trained
help
in
with
social-
my persuasion skill?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm still trained in social interactions. So, and with
Yep.
Letty, that's 2.
Yep.
Do I get a difficulty?
Difficulty 4, so down to 2.
And this is intellect, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so I'll put some effort in as well. All right. So I should just need 3, yeah.
3 or more.
Okay. Come on then, you. And that's a 2.
Okay.
XP.
Hold on. Hold on.
Or inspiration?
Can I late inspire with this?
Yeah. I will say though that this will come after the guards arrive, as Trenton coming back up with a couple of the guards who are at the bridge. Jogging up.
I will have said when I got there, like, excuse me, officer. Have a quick question. There is a situation in the town square. Is that where we are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hypothetically, if somebody steals something from you here, a physical thing, it's still a crime here, isn't it? I don't really know the laws in this area.
Yes. That it's not. You're from Steadfast, right? Yeah, it's not quite the same, but we'll try and get your stuff back to you.
But if somebody stole, for example, someone's got a secret of yours, and they're going to sell it to somebody else, that's also illegal here. It's very bad, isn't it?
I mean, that's a difficult. It's kind of just an agreed upon situation. You know, like we
Okay.
don't have a written system of laws. What's this person?
No, it's just currently hypothetical. And is it? You know, possession is 9/10 of the law here.
You keep saying law as if that really means
Oh,
anything.
Do you have a prison? Do you put people in prison? Do you punish people for doing bad things?
I mean, we'll exile them from the town. That's about as, and like
Mm.
you won't get like served in the inn. It's not really formal.
Oh, if this person isn't getting served in the end. Okay. There's a situation in the square. Friend of mine has
Right, so
had
it's not
something
hypothetical at all.
stolen off her. It's possibly somebody had something stolen from them, and we'd like you to have a look at this situation.
Okay, I can come and mediate, but yeah.
Okay. This way, and I'll run. Follow me.
She follows up, jogging with a
For
spear.
fisticuffs and shoes.
And yeah, Trenton comes jogging around the corner with a guard.
Please.
Okay. So my late inspiration gives me an asset on the task, which means I automatically will pass then.
Indeed,
This
yes.
time.
So yeah, the guard comes up as you kind of give a meaningful look and kind of another apology to the guy who seems to be leading this. Not quite a mob yet. It's teetering on mob. And yeah, like the grip loosens, but the hand is still firmly like on the shoulder. The guard kind of comes up and says, "Right, okay, what's going on here?"
Well, this child has purloined something off of me, and I asked my dear colleague to stop the child, which they have done. And now this gentleman was just concerned about the nature of how that was taken about, which I must admit was possibly a little rough on the child, but he is uninjured, and I was just explaining to this lovely gentleman that I was just caught up in the moment. I did not mean to be quite so harsh sounding, and actually all I really want is what the child has stolen back, and you know, I intend no harm or injury. I don't want punishment as such. I just would like the return of my belongings.
What's the child meant to have stolen?
Hey, small child. How much to give it back? You're gonna sell it, right? How about 3 shins? You want 3 shins? Give it back? Cool. I've got 3 shins here. Hey, give it back first and I'll give you 3 shins.
Just maybe before he does that, we could find somewhere quiet to go, so we don't have to shame him in front of all these people.
The guy with the hand on the shoulder says, "Why would he need to do that?"
Because,
Sounds like the kid has stolen something, but I'm not letting the kid just go anywhere with you.
well, maybe the guard could accompany us, or we could just step back a little bit from you all.
The guard kneels down to the kid, and you know, quiet conversation. I mean, you hear a couple of snippets, and the kid, you hear the kid's hungry, and the guard's gonna, like, you know, kind of feeling out the situation. But eventually, the guard kind of leans in close, and you can't really hear what's said. The guard stands up and says, "The kid will give your stuff back later today. We can have a chat now. Just us two."
That would be fantastic. Yes.
Yeah. You pay the kid now. He'll come back later today and give you the thing.
I was wondering.
Do we have it back now? Why later?
Letty, I was just wondering if maybe the child would. We're about to go for lunch, and I have another wonderful companion who provides rather top quality lunches. Maybe you would like to join us too, and the child could join us. I understand he looks a little hungry, and maybe a nice lunch might help things with him.
Yeah, or money would do that too.
Both can be arranged. If I know what it's like to be a hungry child.
The person is the guard is looking at the big fella who has the hand on the shoulder, looking quite confused at this sudden change in conversation. Eyes kind of narrowed. Can I come for lunch too?
Absolutely, if you wish. Please.
Okay.
Let me allow me to make it up to you all. I feel I honestly did not intend to cause such disturbance, and I feel I should make some sort of reparation. I mean, we're literally on our way to lunch now, and I'm sure there will be some sort of deliciousness available if you would like to join us. Perhaps you would all like to follow me?
Yeah, let's go for lunch.
Maybe not all of them.
You, the guard, the kid, and the burly fella
Okay,
all
sorry.
go. The crowd seems to disperse a little. There's definitely like talk in the crowd about the craziness that has just happened.
The barrier's there for 10 minutes, by the way. That's just this opaque, shimmering wall of gravitational stress.
There's a few people now kind of standing around it, poking at it, like hitting it with bits and pieces, trying to figure it out. Eventually, kind of as you're leaving, you see someone ran to the clave, and somebody from the clave is coming out to have a look at it. But you return to your little house. Your
Please tell me Philo's there and has prepared lunch.
Philo is there, but is doing kind of snacky lunch. Has found like a load of different bits and pieces. It's kind of a charcuterie buffet kind of deal. It's laid out on the table so you can come and snack as and when you need to. Because you've got a day out and about the town, you may not have time for a full lunch. So
I love him so much. As soon as I walk in, Philo, that's great.
We have guests.
We do. Are you able to lay on something a little more? Maybe something special for our young gentleman friend here, and this older gentleman friend here, and this other gentleman friend here.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes. Excellent.
Waddles to the back, and you hear a fire start going, and a few pots of pan ding, 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 kind of moving. Putting something
Please, all take a seat. Do help yourself to whatever your fancy. I think Philo is just sorting out a few more dishes for us, so please, my place is your place. Please feed yourselves as you need. And guard, is it possible I could have a quiet word with you? Just maybe into this room over here, please.
Yeah. She follows you into the room. You can see that the guard and the big fella kind of. There's a couple of moments where they kind of lock eyes, and a bit of a animosity almost. It seems there's definitely some difficulty there. But yeah, she follows you into a back room. You see, those of you behind see that the big guy takes the seat closest to that door, and the guard goes into the room, closes the door behind. I was trying to do it without the big fella, but I did get it back. I wasn't trying to extract the whole situation.
I completely understand. Should we maybe go right over into this corner over here?
Yeah. And yes, you receive the whisper back from the guard, who retrieved it from the kid earlier.
I'm so grateful. I'm not quite sure, how did he manage to steal it from me in the first place?
Kids have much better hearing. They can sometimes hear it better even if you're closer. You just careful with how you say it in an open area or near an alleyway that the kid could hear. It just happens sometimes.
Oh, okay, thank you. Is lunch enough, or is there anything else I can do to recompense
You don't
your
need to do
time?
anything for me. Just don't let the big guy hear.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, she will then kind of stand up and say, "Yes, so the kid will be back later tonight to give you your bag back. I was just a little thing, wasn't it? Just an oddity."
Yes. I know it seems such a thing to make a fuss of, but we've travelled quite a long way, and it is quite precious to me. And I thank you so much, and I'm really grateful for how you've handled this. And of course, I don't know nothing to happen to the child. I'm more than happy to pay the money and to get my oddity back. That's sentimental value, you understand.
I'm going to need some kind of roll to make a lie.
Oh, is that pleasant?
I don't think it is.
It's a social interaction, though, is it?
You're not. It's a social interaction. Yes. Yeah, just about.
Is it charm? Charm, secret, intimidation.
No,
That's
I
my
don't think so.
Oh, fine.
Could I help with misdirection by chatting this big lad up in the other room?
Yeah, you can try. Big fella seems quite annoyed every time you try and chat, like the head's turning. You can tell. Trying to hear.
What do I need?
Difficulty 4, so you're down 2, so difficulty 2, 6 or more.
Okay. Come on.
I'll be entertaining the
come
child.
on!
I'll be entertaining the child by jumping to make my shoes make really loud noises.
Yeah.
I got a 3.
Okay.
Fate.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you return back into the room. The kid is still looking quite nervous, but your attempts at entertaining have at least kind of brought the kid out of his shell, and he's started eating bits and pieces. Definitely kind of looking around very nervously. The meal, happens, and it's a little tense. But eventually, the guard, the kid, and the big fella all leave kind of together, and then you see them go their separate ways outside.
As promised, 3 shins, young fella.
Thank you.
If you're gonna steal, be better about it, alright? You gotta wait till they're not looking, and when you leave, don't leave like you're running away from something. Honestly, just walk calm, casual, keep it collected.
Big guy at the door. And you all wander out. They all wander out. You see out the window, the big guy does kneel down and chat to the kid quickly, but seems disappointed when stands up and they both leave. Now it's just you.
Chaotic Neutral does not condone thievery. Advice given within the show does not represent real life advice.
If you find yourselves 1 billion years in the future on top of a mesa full of 6-armed monkeys, then
Anything
maybe.
goes. Anything goes. It's fine.
Fila comes out with the second course. Oh, has everyone gone?
Yes,
Would you
apparently
like
so.
the second course?
Please, I hate having a guard under the roof. I need more snacks. Give me that.
A kind of a stew kind of thing. Not quite as deeply flavoured as perhaps Philo's better work, but still definitely good. Big bowl of
Philo,
that. Bowl's passed out.
Philo, sit down, join us. Sit down, join us.
Of course.
What did you manage to find out today?
Well, I managed to catch a few little whispers here and there. Not whispers, but whispers. What would you like to know about?
Oh, well, okay. I've got several questions, so I'd like to know about the clave.
Yes,
I'd like to know
I've
about...
heard some rumours.
Oh, yeah.
there's a talk about they are searching for something, a particular whisper that they want to know. Some people say that they actually don't know what they're searching for anymore, but others seem to say they know exactly what they're searching for. Some big secret that was important when the thing was founded. That's the reason this whole place exists. Apparently, the clave came here first, and then the town grew up around them.
Oh, interesting.
It is wonderful what you can tell when you give them good liquor.
Yes. Liquor.
Or even bad
Any
liquor.
idea what the big secret might be, or what it?
That is something which everybody has a different answer. Some people say it is the red door in the mesa. Apparently there is one red door with where you can get in. Some people say it is a whisper that can tell them how to live a very long time. Some people say it is a whisper which will explain what the castle itself is. Some people are saying that it's not even a whisper. They just like owning them all. They just like controlling the secrets. They're somewhat like the Catholics. Only the Catholics do not want any whispers out there. The Glaive just wants the whispers kept local. But everyone has their own theory. It is
And the Catholics, like, what are they saying about them?
well, people don't like the Catholics over here. They're not usually welcome in town. At least the ones who are openly, associate themselves with the Catholics. But there's some people say there's people secretly going to the meetings at night, and there's always rumors about who's a Catholic and who's not. They're an odd bunch. They believe in the Catholics as a god, and as us, the whispers being stolen. The Catholics is not giving them; they are in the air, and people are taking them. Whether they mean to or not, but it does not seem to be material to the Catholics whether they are or not. It seems to be the general theories about the Catholics.
Interesting. That's honestly excellent work, Vito, on the food and the information.
I'll be perfectly honest, it is lovely to be in a town that I do not know back to front. Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
And one where I do not have to pay tribute to be rumor mongering. It is wonderful.
Indeed.
Yeah, you were stuck. Were you stuck in Noru for a while then?
Yes, quite a while.
Oh, jeez.
It
Nice
is
to
an interesting
visit, but
town.
I wouldn't like to stay there.
There are plenty of secrets to find in the town, and there's plenty of food to cook in the town. But when there is a someone in charge of secrets in the town, somebody who wants to know it all as well, you can make a living. But you kind of lock yourself into one person, and that's never the way to live. I like having people. I like life.
Yeah, well, we definitely enjoy having you, Philo.
It is a pleasure to be here.
Now, Letty, Trenton, what are you considering? What should be our next steps forward?
Well, how many whispers do we have between us? Do we want to keep one and sell one? Given that we are here to sell.
Okay, I'm gonna I'm going to ensure that the lodging is like the windows are closed, the
Childproof.
door is shut, like there's nobody loitering outside before I continue that conversation. What's Mazia doing in this time while we?
Mazia is chowing down.
Okay, so she's just quietly.
Yeah. She basically she will be like a silent partner in the conversations.
Okay. So I now have 2 whispers and a word from a whisper. I think.
No, you have 3 whispers. You know what one of them means. You don't know what the other 2 mean, but Mazia can help you with the adjustment whisper.
Okay. There you go. So I have 3 whispers. One I understand.
3? Okay.
Yeah, one I understand. One that Mazia has given me that doesn't quite make sense to me. And then the third one, which also makes absolutely no sense to me. So that's why I sort of wanted to come back here, because I think I might need some musing time. And honestly, I mean, we could just sell them, but I don't know.
That seems like it's no fun.
Well, and the one I received, it feels like it's important somehow.
Curious.
That's the one that you don't understand at all.
No, that I understand the one I received.
Okay.
It makes sense to me of the sort. I can't quite understand Mazia's, and the third, no idea.
Mazia pipes up and says, well, mine should be the same. It's the key. I can help you work it out so you can understand.
Would you? That would be most useful.
Yeah. She will give you 2 assets to your deciphering of it. It is a difficulty 7 normally.
Oh, do you know what? Can I take a quick action recovery?
Yes, absolutely. There is plenty of time.
I've used a lot of intellect today.
Yes.
Okay, so that gives me 12. So she's given me 2, and now it's just intellect, isn't it?
Yes.
Is there anything I can add? Does my perception help?
No. Do you have any skills relating to farming?
No.
In that case, I don't think any skills would help.
All right, then. So it's just effort. So I'll put 2 lots of effort in.
Yep, so 7, 6, 5 for 3. Difficulty 3, 9 or more.
Okay, right. That shitty dice is gone. Let's get you out. This is 6.
No, it's not. Even when Mazia's kind of repeating the syllables, she can. The thing is, Mazia can't remember it properly, so the things she's saying, they don't match up. It doesn't work.
Okay. Can I late inspire myself?
You can.
Again?
And feel happy to spend more of those points.
Well, to a certain degree. I am going to have a proper rest, though. Okay. Right. So now it's down to a level 2 difficulty, yeah?
Yeah.
That's a 9.
There we are. So yes, after a little while longer, the stew is running low in the bowl and is cooling off a bit. Yes, adjustment is key. Adjustment is an archaic word for farming.
Okay.
It is a door in the mesa. You know the kind of vague area. You've got an image in your mind of a particular area with several doors. Might take a bit of doing to figure out which one it is, but you at least know the area.
And I know you sort of explained this last week when last time we were discussing it. If I try and draw out what I see, is that giving away the whisper?
No, it's not.
So if for instance, I could like do a little sketch and like maybe show it to Connie, for instance, and ask her whether.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you can tell people what the whisper's about. They just won't have like the perfect information, and crucially, in this case, the key.
Okay. All right. Now, can I do anything with Nimchek's whisper?
You can. It is a difficulty 7.
How much recovery can I have?
Action 10 minutes, hour 10 hours.
Can any of us help with this?
I mean, you can pass the whisper around and everyone can give it a try.
Okay.
Oh, like everybody can think about it individually?
Well, you have to think about it one by one because only one person can have it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So yeah.
But yeah.
So.
Who, out of all of you, is closest to Nimchek? Who's had kind of the most conversation?
I've probably had the most conversation in a very sort of polite, superficial way. I think Mazir had the closest sort of bond to him.
He's staying away from Mazir at the moment, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's staying away from Mazir, but yes, I know which one of you has the asset. I'm not going to say who, but I know which one of you has the asset. You've got to figure it out.
Okay, hold on. All right, so
Burning through those intellect points.
Yeah, I really am. So if I put 2 effort in again, so that's going to take it down to a 5. So that's going to be 15, isn't it? Well,
We're saying, I think Matilda had 2 nights planned at this place.
Okay. 16.
16. So you use 2 levels of effort, correct?
Yeah.
6, 5, 15, 16. Passed. I've got to look up Whisper now. It will work, but it is futile.
Do I
You
get any image with that?
are brought to mind of the thing that Nimchek is carrying with you. The big thing under the tarp that he keeps covered at all times.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
some kind of device. Restorative, healing device. And it will work. It will heal the person. It will bring them back from the dead. But it won't get the outcome that Nimchek wants.
Did you say it will bring them back from the dead?
It will.
And that's all in my head.
The way the whispers work, you understand it. The words, the exact words are, it will work, but it is futile. And this is all kind of background knowledge. So, like when I say elephant, it isn't just the word by itself. There's the history, the size, the colour, the feel, everything encapsulated in that word. In that way, this is all encapsulated in it will work, but it is futile. Because Nimchek, they have done something bad and have been punished, are being punished. And it'll work, but it won't have the outcome that they want.
I feel sad.
I take it that Letty would be the one with the asset then.
Actually, I was going to say it was Trenton because Trenton handed a weapon over.
I was thinking.
Oh shoot, interesting.
Okay, so
Figured anything out, boss?
I figured out a couple of things. So, like I say, so it's interesting. These are very interesting things. So the whisper I had was sort of informative, but I understood because of my background. And then the one that Mizia has is some sort of key to a door.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that Nimchek had seems to be absolutely personal to him. I can't imagine it being related to anybody else.
Ooh, dish. What's the goss?
Well, if I tell you, then I don't think it's my place to say. I think maybe it's Nimchek's place.
Well, if that's personal, then if it's that personal, then all right. That's no fun.
No.
What's your one then? What's your one? I want to know. You've got all three in your brain, and it's killing me. It's literally killing me right now.
I mean, I'd offered for you to steal them, Letty, but you know, I think we've had enough of that for today.
That's rude.
No, well, no, yeah, maybe. Apologies. I'm so sorry. Don't know what my brain is just filled with stuff. I mean, honestly, I think we might have a chance of working out the key one. I feel like the one I have for some reason is maybe not for others to hear at the moment. And I apologize that seems sneaky and deceptive, but I just have concerns about sharing it and sharing its meaning. Especially in this town. Maybe when we're outside. As for the third...
Well,
like
everyone's got their secrets, I guess.
So do you think that none of these are for sale at the moment?
Well, I mean, if we sold Nimcheks, would it... I mean, I understand, because I know Nimchek, but if I gave it to somebody else, would they have any idea of who it relates to or how it relates? I don't know.
If it's personal to Nimchek, is it worth giving it back?
For him to figure out himself?
Yeah.
Mazia pipes up. It seemed like he didn't want it. Maybe he figured it out and didn't.
Yeah. Well, maybe we sell that one. I have to say, I am most intrigued as to what else we can do with them.
Well, if it leaves your brain when you give it away, maybe write down what it's about. Just so you remember.
Yes, I will do. I'll certainly write it down.
As you're writing, every time you get too close to the actual content of the whisper, your kind of mind meanders and your sentence wanders off in a different direction. You can kind of talk around it, but the actual secret itself, you can't write that down. Your brain does not let you. Or maybe the whisper doesn't let you.
If I was to sell Nimcheks, Letty, Trenton, who would we sell it to?
Well, so Lorien probably won't want it because there's no door associated with it. Clave probably wants them all. I don't imagine if they're looking for a particular one. I imagine they're not too fussy which ones they pick up in case it's relevant.
Do the Catholics pay? Do we know?
They'll take them.
We might be
Sounds
paying
like
them
a
in our blood.
Yeah.
So it feels like their reputation around here. They're not particularly big on outsiders.
A useful bargaining tool, though, if we wanted to know more about them. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I suppose I can tell one of you the whisper, and you don't have to try to understand it. You can just pass it on, presumably.
Sure, I'll take it.
Okay, I'm gonna whisper to. Am I able to write before I do this? Am I able to write enough to convey that I have concerns about not necessarily what Nimchek is doing, but like about him as a person and what he's going through?
Yeah. So you can kind of say, this whisper made me worried about Nimchek for some reason. You can't give any reasons why. You can maybe say,
Okay.
maybe you think Nimchek's dangerous, or maybe you think Nimchek is unreliable. That kind of detail.
Could I
No
say I think
explanation
he's
why.
troubled by something?
Troubled, we can do.
Yeah? Okay. So that's what I'll write down about Nimchek. I'm going to find it's very difficult to roleplay with trying to not
Yeah.
remember it. And then I will whisper, it will work, but it is futile. And that goes to Letty.
Random syllables and then futile.
How do I work that out again?
Difficulty 7 intellect.
Cool, I'm spending 3 levels of effort. Letty is nosy.
Difficulty 4, 12 or more.
That's a 13.
You understand it.
Hell yeah. Letty just rolls that around in her brain for a minute. It's like, all right then. She's just nosy.
Yeah. Would you give me some kind of history roll? Kind of your
Yeah,
own
for sure.
history. If you've got any skills in that.
I don't think I do actually. No. I guess deception, but that's not really knowing my own history. That's just my history. An 8.
An 8. For an 8, I will remind you where Nimchek said they're from. They said they're from Galvin. Galvin? Is it Galvin? I think it's Galvin. For some reason I haven't written this down, even though it's like...
That's in Ancuin, isn't it?
Yeah,
I thought it was in
names of places.
Messine.
Basically, it's just north and east of where you are, where your home is. Yes, Glavis. There we are.
Glavis. Yeah,
kind
I
of
did look it up.
Northeast of Scorpion's Reach. Yeah. I'll just remind you of that for an 8.
Okay.
Okay, what sort of time of day is it now?
Just after maybe a couple of hours after lunch, you spent a couple of hours kind of sitting and pontificating and figuring this stuff out. Actually, yes. In the meantime, what has Trenton been doing?
I'm not sure. Trent's a little bit lost. I'm going through. I don't know. I'm really interested in the ambits, but generally, if I'm pondering anything, it's more kind of reverse anthropomorphization. Is that a real word?
Yeah.
Where I'm trying to work out how they would work if they were a machine and how I might be able to recreate what they can do. But it's all just theorizing, drawing on napkins. Maybe writing on a table or a window or something about how this might work. And how the process can kind of be done without involving 6-limbed monkeys.
Yeah. You spot on the corner of the table the box you left with the two, well, one non-working and one working recording device.
Mhm.
They're still
So, yeah.
exactly as they were before.
They are. Okay.
But I want to try and make a roll for me to see if you can figure something out.
I see. I do have. Oh, 2 seconds. Where is my thing? I can do a player intrusion, which gives me a convenient glimmer. A glimmer provides you with a clear answer or suggests a course of action with regard to an urgent question, problem, or obstacle you're facing.
Specifically, glimmers are the data sphere kind of poking into the world for a second.
Okay.
It is some information that was floating around, which for some reason your brain has latched onto. Almost like a whisper, but
Yeah.
not quite.
Do you want to make your roll anyway?
If you want to use that player intrusion, there's no need for a roll.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then that's exactly what I'll do. Yeah.
The glimmer you get is not... It's slightly intrusive. It's not quite the train of thought you were on. You're looking at these two things. One of them is discoloured in a particular pattern. Looks like fingerprints, actually. Yeah, the one that isn't working has fingerprints over it. And you kind of test your finger on it, and like you leave a little greasy fingerprint, but not in the way that it has fingerprints on it. It's interesting.
Do they look like human fingerprints?
They do look like human fingerprints.
They've got the whirls and the stuff. Okay. Okay, cool. Am I knowledgeable enough about fingerprints to be able to, get some super glue, get the fumes, and then get some paper and put it on, and get a print of the.
So yeah, you can do that, but it doesn't actually lift. This is what you're doing in the background as a collegian. You're kind of pondering over these. But yeah, the fingerprint doesn't lift, but it's still there on the thing. Kind of slightly, not just discoloured slightly, a little darker than the rest.
I'm going to draw it as best as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me an intellect.
I'll draw it, and I'll do, if I've got anything to measure it with, I'll do dimensions as well.
Absolutely.
18.
Oh yeah, it is pretty accurate as far as you can tell. You've even got the little scar.
Nice. I've got my tongue out and copying it. Okay, great.
There are 3 fingerprints, 3 separate ones you notice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, would I have had time to
absolutely,
draw them all?
There's plenty of time. But we'll return now.
That's fine.
You hear the whisper go on, and you see Letty kind of look up and nod.
What on earth are you doing, Trenton?
Fingerprints on the device, which is failing. No fingerprints on the one that's okay. Someone has corrosive fingerprints. Maybe not corrosive fingerprints, but we might be able to find out who has touched them. Can I have your fingerprints, please, everybody? I'm going to get some ink or whatever, and a piece. What's synth? Is it just synth that you write on?
Yeah, I think Mazia has a bit of the squid ink.
Absolutely perfect. And I'll ask everybody for their fingerprints, if they're okay with them.
Letty politely declines.
Oh, come on, Letty, please. This is for science. It's not, you're not going to go to jail for this. I'm pretty sure it's not you. I will dispose
I'm already in jail, technically.
I'll dispose of the fingerprint as soon as I've ruled you out. And I'm not accusing you of anything. I just want to know if you've done it. Fingerprints.
All right,
please.
as long as they're gone after they're used.
I can show you. So if you do it, I'll compare it immediately.
Yep.
Is
no
it
need
Letty?
to roll for any comparisons because you rolled so well on drawing it. Nobody matches.
Okay. I will dispose of Letty's.
Chuck it
Luigi
in the
looks at his
fire.
fingers. That really is very good. Indelible ink, isn't it? Not sure
Not
the green
enough
really goes with
days.
my skin colour, but anyway.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay. Now I just need to get fingerprints from everybody who's gone near this.
By the way, Letty, may I just compliment you on your recent outfit acquisitions? You really
Thank
do
you.
look lovely. And
Thank you very much.
much better than that sort of prison outfit you've been wearing.
Oh, you mean the uniform of the Vatican prison?
Yes.
Yeah. It's nice to be out of that. Shame about this manacle around my ankle, but
Yes. We should really work on that at some point. I just don't feel that this is the place to do it. Probably need a few more tools, devices and such like.
Do you want to
So-
remove it?
Well, I mean, I know it's not the done thing, but we're not in Vatican anymore, and honestly, it makes me uncomfortable. Not going to lie. It's why I had Letty buy other clothes. I don't think we need to be telling all and sundry, you know.
that you're travelling with a known criminal.
I mean, yes. Yes.
And that you've got an indentured servant?
I mean, I wouldn't really call you an indentured... Okay, yes, maybe.
I am being paid for my work. I'm quite happy. I'm not indentured.
Indeed,
Oh,
Philo.
we're talking about me. We're talking about me.
Oh, I do apologize. I am terribly sorry. I will go back to the washing up.
That's all right. I'm not hiding it.
I mean, yes, I suppose you are. I hope that you feel that you're not under threat as an indentured servant.
Letty just
I
sort
mean
of
that
giggles.
sincerely, not sarcastically. By the way.
Letty knows that, and it just makes it more funny to her. She's just sort of laughing, but she's not too fussed.
Well, we're due to leave tomorrow, are we not?
Mm-hmm. Have we sold the fruit and the food?
I don't believe we have. Do you want to get started on that before it goes bad?
I thought Mosaic might have been doing that, but I'm not sure.
This is the kind of thing that we can just kind of roll into the background. We can skip a few hours and you've sold
Okay,
the
great.
kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was wondering whether maybe we send a message back, or like one of us could cross the bridge, maybe, but asking them maybe to stay a little while longer, because I am intrigued by this whisper, and I wonder if we use Connie's services, we might be able to find this door. What would you guys think about that?
I think she'd be very useful in finding us, and I would like to see behind one of them.
Matilda did say she was on a schedule, right? She needed to be somewhere at a certain time to catch a thing. Might be able
Yes,
to delay
that
a
is-
day or two, but I'm not sure. You have to ask.
Do you know where the door is? I thought you did. You got a general area, didn't you?
Yeah, kind of west. I have to do it from north every time.
Okay, so it's in the direction that we're probably going to be traveling anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I suppose what we could do is go and see Connie, see where she thinks it might be, and always arrange for Matilda to stay a couple of days to do more trading and then meet us a little bit later.
Or we could pop
Where we
over,
got-
tell her, hey, do you want to come over to the trading company? Take her down, ply her with a glass of wine, and then sort of escort her back, and she can give us some information while she's over there. Out of the ears of Papa Ossolorian, who I'm assuming would probably want to know what we were going to look at before we went there.
That is true. Ed, we don't have to cross the bridge again to get to where we're going, do we?
No,
The bridge is
you
only
can,
to the town.
you can go down the kind of steep side of the mesa. It just puts you on the other side, and it's a little faff to get the carts down there or back up to the carts, basically.
Oh no, I didn't mean that. I mean when we go to where Matilda's planning to go next, like we're basically by the route the carts would take would bypass that presumably, or bypass the town even.
When you say bypass, you like the carts would go back down the mesa and through the crags again. What are you asking?
Okay, so we can't go the other way and then meet them there because they're not
Oh, you
they're
could.
not going to.
You could.
Oh, okay.
You just have to kind
But
of trek your own.
the current plan is for us to go back over the bridge and then go with them that way.
So, yeah, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm confused about. Yeah. So they would still have to effectively the caravan has to go through town. They just use the non-bridge way.
It can't go through town. It would be going kind of by the town in the crags underneath.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Because we can't cross the canyon with the stuff.
Yeah.
To get to town.
And the switch back up the mesa is too kind of thin and steep for carriages to come up.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So we can go the other way and just meet them there as long as they know
you
that's what we're
could
going to do.
head off and tell them to catch up to you.
Yeah.
But if we take the caravan route, we're going past the door anyway, we think.
That kind of area. You might have to like detour a little bit, but yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay. Well,
I don't think I know how to get a hold of an ambid in such a short space of time. So I don't know if I have anything else I need to do in this town. Who else would have gone near the devices? It's just everybody in the camp, right? Like Matilda and George?
Pretty much. Yeah. You don't think anyone kind of outside the trading like went through the boxes.
Okay. Yeah, then I don't think I have anything to do in town.
so do we get Connie across the bridge and travel with the caravan until we get to the door? Would that be the best plan?
I think so.
Or do we do this separate to the caravan?
I think the best practice is to go across the bridge, meet up with the caravan, and then head on from there. And yeah, bring Connie, and then get someone to take her back over.
There was a fella at the other end of the bridge who was willing to buy whispers off you.
We don't want to get rid of our whispers, do we?
No.
If you happen to get one that isn't quite as useful to you.
Oh, when we're crossing the bridge again.
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Would we have enough time to get Connie and cross the bridge tonight?
Yeah. It might be cutting it a bit fine. But yeah, you're kind of mid-afternoon at this point.
I've got to take Philo across the bridge again.
Yep.
I'll give him a hand with the washing up. Just
Okay,
to speed
Philo,
things along a bit.
I think we've decided that we're gonna return to the caravan. Unfortunately, this means crossing the bridge again. I suggest we do what we did in the latter stages and like tie you to me and maybe we'll tie yourselves to each other a little more.
I would appreciate this. Yes.
Yes. If you're able to pack up.
We are leaving now.
Yes.
Of course, I can do so. Yes.
If that's okay with you.
Of course. I have no great desire to stay here. I will take me as the wind goes.
Indeed. But we do just want to go and collect somebody. So we'll probably be about half an hour, maybe an hour before we're ready to actually cross. Will that give you enough time to...
Absolutely. Yeah, I can roll up your bedrolls and all sorts. Do not worry.
That would be fantastic.
Yes. This is what I'm here for.
All right. Well, let's go and get Connie, shall we, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so back to the big house. Not difficult to find, not difficult to get in, and Connie is actually sat in one of the upper windows, kind of looking out, looking down, and looking out, looking down. Does a double take when she spots you, and kind of runs down to see you all down in the courtyard. Says, "Are you going somewhere? Are you? Hi, sorry, hi.
My lady, yes, we
Don't
have
do the
decided.
whole my lady stuff. Just get to it."
Yes, well, we have decided that we are going to return to our caravan and the Merriano trading family, but actually, we think we might need your help with something. We were wondering if you might consider returning with us to join our caravan. It would mean crossing the bridge with us, though.
Join your leave.
Well,
No.
just for the evening, just to give. Always wanted to cross the bridge, and we're happy to take you over. And
I don't know. I'd love to. I don't know.
well, we can always bring you back over at the end after you've been with us, been over.
I'm going to take a roll, please.
That's
The
you.
two of you, assets and all sorts. By all means, do your thing.
I'll asset you, Letty.
Definitely calling this
Thank you.
pleasant.
Actually, if you've got pleasant, then maybe it'd be better me giving you asset with persuasion, because you get 2 assets with that. Do you?
Are you specialised
Yeah.
in persuasion?
I'm not specialized in persuasion. I'm specialized in.
I am specialised in pleasant social interactions.
Yeah,
Right.
so I'll give you
that
the
means
asset. I
Letty
think.
would get 2 assets from Clegy if Letty does the
There you
roll.
go.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
Cool,
It
okay,
works out
yeah.
the same either way, but specialised does
Interesting.
pass on assets. But yeah, 2 assets, difficulty 3. She is not
Alrighty then.
a particularly...
16.
She thinks for a second. Just tonight.
Yeah, just for the evening.
You might want to consider joining us afterwards, but that would be entirely up to you. We would recommend staying overnight with us rather than crossing the bridge again, literally tonight.
You see a little bit of panic, but then like resolve sets in her eyes. It's, let me get my stuff. She runs back in. You see up in the room her pass by the window several times, and she comes back down with a huge rucksack, far too much stuff, almost overbalancing. She seems to have had this ready. And as she walks out, she says to the butler, "Don't tell Dad I'm going to be gone for the evening, but let him know I'm okay, but don't tell him where I went." Walks out to you.
That's not going to make him worry.
Well, that's quite a load. May I help you with some of that?
Yeah, it's just tent and bag and coats and spare stuff and pitons and hammers and rope and all the adventuring stuff you need.
Pistons
Indeed,
come
you
in
are.
very handy.
Very well prepared. I'm more than willing to carry it for you, my lady.
No. If I'm going to be an adventurer, I'm going to carry my own stuff.
Excellent. Okay. Well, we just need to pick up a companion, and then we'll go straight to the bridge.
Yes. So you return back to Philo. Connie's eyes light up at Philo, and they start having like a very animated conversation back and forwards. Philo waxing lyrical about stories as you head off towards the bridge. The wind isn't quite as bad as it was last time. It's still kind of blowing. You can see the bridge swaying, but it's not as bad as it was. The guards, one of them you now recognise. I give you a nod as you go past and tell you to hold for a sec. They send a flash of light to the end. a flash comes back. It's clear. Go ahead.
I want to, if it's possible, to do what we saw the other people doing as they were crossing, and like clip myself to. Is Nimchek with us?
Yes. I presumed you went and.
Yeah. Clip myself to the bridge somehow, so that if I fall, I'll be okay. Are what are they called? The raptor things?
The Vulfin.
Vulfin. Are they sweeping around again?
Give me an intellect roll and a perception kind of thing.
Perception. I am skilled in perception, and I rolled a 12.
You can see two perched on the far side, the cliff on the far side,
Okay.
halfway up.
Okay.
By the way, the hooks, they will sell you hooks for a shin for 2 or 3.
Yeah.
A couple of shins will cover you all.
Yeah, I'll spend 2.
Or you can make your own, of course.
Nah. Right now, I want pre-made, purpose-built hooks.
Yep.
I'll distribute them to everybody.
Got a little bar that springs in and out, so very secure when you put them on.
Excellent.
I've tied
Did we just buy space carabiners?
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Hell yeah.
I've tied Philo. I've papoosed Philo to me again, and now I'm tying myself with a rope. Having also, I'm going to try and rope myself to one of these other lovely people.
Yep.
Front and back, because I'm going to in the middle, and then I've also got the ropes on the hooks as well for the bridge.
Philo says, "For a mostly metal man, you are really a very good hugger."
The best sentence of the show. Love it.
Khaleesi can't speak for a while, just carries on tying.
It's like a purple blush on your blue face.
I presume Mazir and Letty are tying up as before.
I think we're also tying us. Well, Letty's tying herself to Ms. Oscillorian.
Okay.
Because
So
as the person who can fly, maybe she's the best suited to look after a young ward. How old is she? Like 19?
Yeah,
I'm assuming
late teens, early 20s.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's going to be Mazir, Letty, Connie, me,
You and Philo.
Trenton, Nimchek.
Yeah, is Nimchek okay with being with me, or does he want to go with somebody else?
He will. He will. He's okay with it.
Okay.
Okay. So
Let's go.
onwards. The standard bits of bridge, absolutely fine. Same as before. Easy enough. I want everyone to roll a d6 for me. And actually, will someone roll one for Mazir as well?
Yeah, I can do that. I rolled a 5. Mazir has a 1.
Mazir got a 1.
I rolled a 2.
I got a 6.
Nice. And what did you get, Queegi, sorry?
2.
Okay. Letty, you feel a knocking on your brain. Something wants to get in.
Hell yeah. Hit me.
Let it in. Okay, absolutely. You rolled that, which is that one. The word you get is golden.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
The syllables. That's the wrong thing. Sorry, I pressed the transformer button instead of the whispers button. But yeah, syllables and golden. The last syllable, the last 2 syllables are golden. And that occurs you
That's
to
fun.
about halfway across this nice bit of bridge. Yeah, you've got your own whisper.
And Nimcheks.
And Nimcheks, yes. Nimchek doesn't know this because Nimchek was out at the pub trying to convince people to make the crossing. Yes, you arrive at the middle. The swinging back and forth. Not too bad. It just seems to be gently pushed, and then the weight brings it back to settle for a bit. Another gust makes it move. Not too bad.
How are you doing there, Ms. Osolorian?
It's high. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Doing great.
You did this, didn't you? So yeah,
Yeah.
And it's not as bad as when you did it, is it?
Not at all. The wind is a lot calmer.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine then. I want everyone to make a difficulty 1 agility kind of roll. Letty, you don't need to because you're you.
Nice.
16.
16.
5. It's a 5.
There are a couple of moments where, like, the extra weight of Philo makes you kind of slip your footing a little bit, but you catch it and across the other side. Trenton.
On the way out, I would have said no. Now I'm just super curious about this. So yes, I will let it in. Name.
And you got that. Yeah, absolutely. You have these syllables lodged in your head, and they don't make sense except for the second word is name. The rest of the way is a bit safer. The bridge, again, not much free swinging. Right at the end, Letty.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
This is unnerving a little bit. Having 2.
Cool. As you walk on, you step off the bridge onto solid land. The fellow who's sat by the side of the bridge spots you, looks at you all. You've got a whisper. You've got, pointing in turn, also pointing at Connie. Would you care to share it for a shin or two?
Absolutely not.
Oh, are you sure? Are you sure you can't spare an old man a little whisper?
So why don't you cross the bridge? You may get a whisper.
I do. I do cross the bridge, but usually I wait until I've got enough whispers. What's the point of crossing the bridge and maybe getting 1, where I can sit here and get 7?
Very wise, very wise. Do you get a lot of people giving you whispers?
Most
You
people
just don't want
really
them.
care for them, honestly.
Not today, sir. Thank you, though. Thank you for the offer. I'll stride on.
Okay.
May well avail ourselves of your service if and when we want to get rid of any.
The camp is kind of as you left it. Conversation flowing. You can see a few locals are still out here chatting and making trades. And yeah, so you all untie each other, set yourself going. Connie is kind of off like a shot into the group, talking to everyone she can. Philo sets down. Thank you very much. I will go ahead and make some dinner. and
Thank you, Fido.
returns to the Merrion Oak family. Nimchek just kind of nods and moves off. And it's just the four of you at the head of the bridge, seeing the group beyond. And you look at each other. And three of you notice something. Letty, you do not notice something. Because one of your eyes is black. With stars. And that is 11 o'clock. So we're going to end it there.
What? Oh no.
How's that?
How can you end it like that? I got so many questions.
Very easily, turns out.
Oh, it's gonna have to come out.
Oh, don't
Gonna
like
have to come
that.
out.
I done beefed it. Always look a gift horse in the mouth, it turns out.
You don't know
Thought you
what
were gonna get
that
two
might be
whispers.
extra special. Yeah.
Few whispers.
That's our game for tonight. We should be back next week, probably with the same crew. I think Rox probably won't be joining us again, but maybe we'll get lucky. If you enjoyed our particular brand of chaos, come and join us in the Discord. There's a million games looking for players. There's a Lancer game that needs a few players. One player, actually. I think there's a vampire one. There's... what else? There's... I can't remember. There's all sorts
Is it
of
Vampire
games.
Masquerade? That's the one
Yes.
that's- Yeah. There we go.
But yeah, that's all in Discord. Come and play with us. Tomorrow is the finale of Blades in the Dark, where everything kind of comes to a head, and I believe last time or the time before, one of the characters was sacrificed. So someone is playing a new character for the last couple of sessions. So yeah, Blades can be brutal. But yeah, that is tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time. Friday is the usual Benefactor, 8 p.m. UK time, and Sunday, even though that is almost a week away, is Lancer, 8 p.m. UK time. We're getting into the kind of the back half of it as well, back third even. 4 sessions left apparently. We've just got our fancy new licenses, so we've got all sorts of new toys to play with next time. Which I'm sure won't slow down combat in the slightest. I learned my stuff. I think that's everything. We should probably do a raid, which means I need to figure out the button again. I need to remember it every week. Is there anything else you want to say? Is there anything you want to add to that?
No.
If you want to catch up on this or any of the shows, you can check out the YouTube.
Yes.
Exactly.
I've been trying to be a bit more regular about that. It's worked most weeks. We'll see. But yes, without anything else to say, I think that is us done for tonight. So stick around for the raid, and we will see you all next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.